Hello and welcome to WhetScience. This is George with my assistant Freckles.
Good day.
And today we'd like to take some time to discuss what we mean by the word WhetScience. To whet means to sharpen, typically referring to manually working the edge of a blade. But it can also mean to generate interest in something. And science refers to any knowledge or any analytical study. Now, when people hear the term science, they at first think of physics or chemistry, but there are classes in college for political science, social science, and boxing is even referred to as the sweet science, which is technically accurate. And the University of San Diego offers a class on the science of Harry Potter. So you could say our goal is to whet your appetite for analysis.
There we go.
Or whittle complex concepts to their relevant parts. Or hone understanding to a fine point. Test theories at the cutting edge. And carve out new ideas with existing principles.
What a dag.
So to discuss these concepts, I'd like to use a philosophical razor. Now, all wordplay aside, the verb razor refers to shaving, which leads to the noun razor, which is something that is sharp enough to shave with. But that isn't the kind of razor I mean. A philosophical razor is a way of judging information to effectively cut away unnecessary considerations and shave off irrelevant hypotheses. Perhaps the most famous philosophical razor is by William of Occam, who is best known for effectively stating that the explanation with the least complexity is more likely the correct one.
I reckon he was just really cheap.
That's not very nice.
And he looks kind of brassed off.
Well,
And daggy.
this is known today as Occam's razor. And to help us decide on this acceptable level of complexity, I call upon René Descartes. He is known for stating, "I think, therefore I am," which he also paired with the statement, "I doubt, therefore I am." What he seemed to be cutting at
Not this again.
is the idea that all of our knowledge is up for debate. The idea that we can truly know anything is a fallacy. However, there are some things that are apparent or must be so, if nothing else but for functional necessity. For example, knowing that one exists with no better explanation is an example of a necessary, or as I like to call it, a Descartesian assumption. And to Occam's credit, the less of those logical leaps we have to make, the better a theory will be. This brings us to my own razor,
Cocky as a rooster with your big ideas.
which reads, "For something to be true, it must be true in all places and at all scales. This law of universality requires that any theory or principle is applicable without exceptions." Now, our ability to observe different places and different scales has changed drastically over history, and we will continue to make new observations that will expand or amend our understanding. Also, note the use of the word true, which is technically a subjective evaluation. When we are seeking the truth in a legal case, we want to make sure
You just
that
yabber
as
on
many
and
objective
on.
facts are used as we can. But there is still a subjective evaluation of the reasons and motivations behind the event being litigated. In the physical sciences, we have a similar condition that we are trying to determine what has occurred or by what mechanism. But there is the situation that we inhabit the experiment being evaluated and can never possess complete knowledge. We are like bacteria in a petri dish, and we don't even know how big the dish is, let alone information on the table it's sitting on. We can only use what facts we have available for making hypotheses on what is most likely true about the universe. And this razor suggests that, as our ability to observe a widening range of scale and gain more expansive knowledge, then we must continue to test all theories, new and old, to reevaluate their capacity for truth. We hope you enjoyed our first episode. Like, subscribe, and visit us at whetscience.com. This is George,
And Freckles.
and we'll see you next time.